Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 1019th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Just to say, this is fought on one of our popular custom maps. A lot of you would have seen we've put battles on our YouTube channel on this map before, with the big open spaces and the woods if you want to hide your troops and plan those nasty ambushes. Okay, our first teammate is RTW player Iberos Touro. Now he's got 11 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, 11 infantry and 6 cavalry. If you have a look there, you'll see that he's actually got a town watch unit, which I'm pretty sure he'll incorporate into his pilot shield unit in front of his main battle formation. You'll notice here that he's got 2 eagle units, 2 morale boosting eagle units, and unusually he's made one of those eagle units his general unit. Now, many years ago, people used to bring eagle units as their Roman general unit, but in recent years, people have just changed to urban cohorts. So that's a bit of old-fashioned, old-school stuff there. As he's only got 11 infantry, I think he's got good upgrades, quite good. Yeah, there you are. He's got good upgrades on his cavalry, 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So only 11 infantry, but really good upgrades on his cavalry there. Okay, our next teammate is GoTW Romex. Now he's got 9 chosen swords, 5 warhound units, and 6 chariots. Okay, there's a close-up of the chosen swordsman there. Remember, they got excellent morale, and as I've said in other battle videos, I think they're very underestimated infantry, especially with good upgrades on as well. Okay, he's got warhounds here as well. Remember, these warhounds bring a small fear factor to the battlefield as well, and unusual to see 5 warhound units on a 31k battlefield, as I'm sure you would agree. So it'd be interesting to see how he uses them during the course of the battle. And of course, he's gone for his 6 chariots, and he's gone for the barbarian warlord chariots. As we've talked about before, remember, Britannia's got 2 lots of chariots: the heavy chariots with their 3 hit points, or these barbarian warlord chariots with their 5 hit points. And over the years, I've experimented with both, and I would always recommend to bring these barbarian warlord chariots. The 5 hit points that they bring to the battlefield really does make a difference there. So it'll be interesting to see how well he handles it. And of course, those chariots don't run amok, and pound for pound thought to be the best chariots in the game. So that's Romex's army there. Our next teammate is someone who's called himself Mount Zion, but is in fact Scorpion King SR. Now get ready for this. He's got 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. Yes, 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. You'll see that he's also incorporated a morale boosting eagle unit into his army. I'm glad to see more people are bringing morale boosting units. I've been on about it for years. I know. He's got light auxiliary unit, which I'm sure he'll put as a pilot shield unit in front of his main battle formation there. So that's his army: 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry, and he's just got gold shield, gold attack on them there. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that army during the course of the battle. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander. Got a very old Roman army of 14 infantry and 5 cavalry. So there's our team. Got the potential to be a cracking battle, and I hope you enjoy it. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Cormac, the old RTW and Brotherhood veteran. He's got the bog standard 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, 14 infantry and 6 cavalry for Cormac the Cruel. That's the bog standard 31k Roman army. Very effective, very efficient. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Spitfyr. He's got the Seleucid faction. Now he's got 2 Silver Shield Legionnaires, 12 Silver Shield Pikes, 5 cavalry and 1 chariot. You'll see that he's put one of his Silver Shield Legionnaires as a pilot shield unit in front of his main battle formation. These guys obviously haven't got the same specifications as urban cohorts, but they are very solid infantry. And a quick look at the upgrades on his pikes there. You'll see he's got 6 upgrades on his forward units there of his pike battle formation. And as you go further back, I think he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he's got 7 or 8 upgrades on the rest of his pikes. So he's kind of got staggered upgrades through his pike formation there. And it'll be interesting to see how well he uses that during the course of the battle. Okay, let's say he's got 5 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades of his cavalry there. You'll see he's got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Remember, we do call these guys the tanks of the ancient world because they are armored from head to toe, and used correctly they can be battle winning troops. So that's Spitfyre's tried and tested Seleucid army there. And I see the chariot unit is just behind his pikes. Their next teammate is RTW player Barclayman. And he's got 15 pikes, 1 Eastern infantry and 3 chariots. Okay, so there's the Eastern infantry. Remember, people used to call these guys the pajama people because it looked to a lot of people that they just got out of bed with their pajamas on, grabbed the spear and shield and went straight into battle. So that's what they used to call them, the pajama people there. A lot of veterans watching this will probably have a bit of a smile. And there you'll see that Barclayman's pikes have got 8 upgrades on, 2 veteran stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So make no mistake, remember this is Barclayman's faction of choice, and he's got his 3 chariots there as well. Okay, so as I say, Pontus has become Barclayman's faction of choice, and he's got very good with them there. Their last teammate is a Brotherhood member, Tabor there, and Tabor has got 6 cavalry, 11 infantry and 1 peasant unit. If you look at the upgrades on his cavalry, you'll count them, you'll see he has got fully upgraded cavalry. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. That's why he's only got 11 infantry, plus he's got some cheap infantry units as well, early legionary cohorts. So that's why it's given him the extra money to be able to fully upgrade his cavalry there. Of course, most of his army are hiding in the woods. Okay, so as I say, it's got the potential to be a cracking battle. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, you'll see that Tabor is bringing his infantry out of the woods there. And if I correctly counted them, he's got 3 or 4 early legionary cohorts, which are very cheap units. And that's what has enabled him to fully upgrade his cavalry. Okay, so I think he's got 11 infantry altogether, but I think he's got 4 early legionary cohorts, which means he's only got, 7 urban cohorts. But by bringing that infantry combination, as I say, he's got spare money to fully upgrade his cavalry, which is what he's done. And you'll see he's moving his army up towards his allies at this very, very early stage of the battle. We've literally pressed start here, and we're all kind of getting into position. You'll see I've just brought my purple SPQR army over from the other flank. I'm going to form up in the woods. You'll see Romex there bringing his Britannia army up. Scorpion King is already in the woods there. And it'll be interesting to see if the Seleucids and the Pontus pikes form up together, because that can make a really solid pike wall there. And you see Cormac coming out from the flank as well to form up. And you'll see here that Iberos Touro is coming over from our right flank to join his allies. And I notice his cavalry here. He's leaving his cavalry there. It might be a tactical reason why he's doing that, or it could be that he's just forgot about them. And how many veterans watching this have done that before? I know I have. Right, okay, so you can see here that we're forming up in this particular part of the battlefield there. And as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if the Seleucid and the Pontus pikes formed up together. I mean, if you think about that, that would be a really solid pike wall. But it depends on whether they're going to go defensive or whether they're feeling like they're going to attack. It'll be interesting to see exactly what they're going to do there. And if you notice there, can you see that Spitfyr has pulled away from the rock? And if we've seen when we've looked at this map before, there's higher ground by the side of the rock. Do you remember when we've looked at this map before? So he's abandoned the higher ground but is moving forward towards us here. So it looks to me like Spitfyr is going to be aggressive there, the way that he's moving forward towards us. You see Scorpion King's army that was hiding in the woods. Look, he's now moved them. Remember, when you hide your troops in the woods, the moment you move them, they then become visible. This should be a great battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, you'll see that Scorpion King here, remind you, he's called himself Mount Zion, but it is Scorpion King SR, has taken his three infantry units forward there, probably to throw pilers, 4 infantry units there to throw pilers into the enemy team. Very aggressive move there by Scorpion King, as we know, one of the most aggressive players on RTW. You'll see there that he's throwing in his auxiliary unit there, to attack that Brutii unit. As I say, very, very aggressive move there by Scorpion King. Looks like he's going to lay his credentials on the table right from the start of the battle here and show how aggressive he's going to be. You can see that Iberos Touro has just reached us from the other flank, and he's formed up there by the side of Scorpion King. But you'll see here that Scorpion King is putting 3 of his units into Testudo. Those of you that have not seen a unit go into Testudo on RTW, here's something new for you to see. Okay, there you are. Can you see that unit going into Testudo there? And just to pause the game for a second, just have a look at that. This is a real formation that the Romans used back in the day, and you'll see it's mostly for missile protection. Any missiles coming in from the side or the front, or indeed coming from above, like arrows coming down on them, very all-round good protection there. And also that particular battle formation is good against pikes. Right, you can see Scorpion King there charges 3 cavalry units in there. Remember, Scorpion King's army consists of 17 infantry and just 3 cavalry there. Right, here's a nice hit coming in from Cormac's cavalry. Just watch this for impact. Bang! As he smashes in to that one Testudo unit of Scorpion Kings there. It wouldn't surprise me as his cavalry moves back, that unit routes. There you go. You can see that was a really nice hit there by Cormac. Very aggressive there. So just smashed that unit there that was in Testudo. As I say, nice hit there by Cormac. Looks like Cormac's going to be very aggressive in this battle as well. Be interesting to see during the course of the battle where the hammer strike is going to be the hardest up and down the battle line here. Over on our right flank here, you'll see that Iberos Touro there has charged his cavalry forward, looking to take out that Pontus chariot unit there. Another aggressive move there in this battle, and this time by Touro there. So it seems like there's a lot of aggressive moves going on here, and it'll be interesting to see, as I said, where the initial main part of the battle starts. Okay, you'll see Scorpion King got 2 of his units into Testudo there as the pikes are moving forward onto his units. As I say, this is the standard protection for Roman units on Rome Total War when they're being attacked by pikes or spear units there. Put your units into Testudo, and they seem to hold quite well against the pikes or the spears. Okay, so over here, as I say, you can see Touro's cavalry are locked and loaded, are ready to move in. But if you look at the disposition of the enemy team, can you see it looks to me like they're going quite defensive? I suppose when you've got a couple of pike factions there, that's a kind of a natural thing that a lot of teams will do. Here you'll see a nice move here by Spitfyr. Got a pike unit there to protect against the chariots of Romex. Obviously, Romex has moved those chariots out there with a view to smash into the flank of the enemy team when he feels the time is right. Okay, but Spitfyr spotted that and put one of his pike units out. Remember, pikes and spears kill chariots really quickly there. So as I say, a nice teamwork move there by Spitfyr to put that pike unit there, and that will certainly put Romex off from trying any chariot attack on that flank. Okay, so as I say, here you can see we've moved forward there, and you'll see that Romex has brought his other 3 chariots onto the other flank. So he's got 3 of his Britannia chariots on the left flank and 3 on the right flank there, showing the flexibility of chariots there, as we know how powerful those units are. So to split them into 2 kind of separate armies, if you like, there is quite a good move. You can see here Scorpion King charging forward with his cavalry again. There, routed one of the enemy units. Nice hit there by Scorpion King. As I say, being very aggressive with his 3 cavalry units. Remember, he's got 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. Okay, so up to this stage of the battle, I have been shadowing Cormac, who is on their right flank and on our left flank there. And I noticed that Cormac is moving his blue Scipii army into the centre of his team there. If you notice there, he was on their right flank, our left flank, and he's moving into the centre. So as I'm shadowing Cormac, I'm going to now move my army over to the right there, as I say, to shadow Cormac's army there. But just as I say, just looking at the disposition of the enemy team, you can see that I think they are looking to go defensive. And here, as I say, you can see enemy units attacking 2 of Scorpion King's units there. Those 2 units we looked at earlier that are in Testudo. As I say, the Pontus pikes and Seleucid pikes there could be a problem for us, you know, if we want to attack. Trying to break through pike units with Roman infantry is you've got to get the timing and the tactics right to do that. So it'll be interesting to see. As I say, you can see me moving my purple SPQR army over into the centre of our team. As I said before, shadowing Cormac's blue Scipii army there. Okay, now make no mistake, there'll be a lot of pilers coming in there from both teams at this stage of the battle. So there'll be a lot of weakening of units from both teams there. Okay, if you notice, if you look up at the sky there, can you see the pilers coming in there from our team? But make no mistake, there will be a reply of pilers coming in from the other team as well. As I say, weakening units in front of us there. And as I say, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen here, because as I say, with the Seleucids and Pontus maybe in defensive mode, which we may well have to attack. Right over here, can you see this Pontus chariot unit being hit by a Britannia chariot unit, and then cavalry, bang! There's Iberos, Touro charges cavalry in there as well. Took out that powerful Pontus chariot unit there. So nice combination move there by Romex and Touro. And as I say here, you can see that the enemy team definitely have looked to go defensive from what I can see here. So that means that we will be looking to attack there. As I say, we would have been throwing a lot of pilers into the enemy team there, weakening units, and of course their Roman troops there would have been throwing pilers into us as well. So there will be some weakened units in the centre there, I would suggest. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here. So, as I say here, you can see that Barclayman has moved his pikes from the centre over to their left flank or right flank there, possibly to counter Touro's infantry. And you notice that they've got their chariot and cavalry units at the back of their team battle formation there, ready to strike at any part there, or maybe go out around the flanks and hit us in the flanks there. So as I say, just looking at the general disposition of the enemy troops, you can see that from what we can see, they're looking pretty defensive to me. Lots of fierce fighting going on, still pilers being thrown in by both teams here, trying to weaken units. I can see the dog units of Romex there being brought in behind our team there. But as I say, there's a lot of intense fighting going on here in the centre of the battlefield, as you can see there. We've got Seleucid pikes and Scipii pikes there as we're trying to move forward if possible. And you can see more enemy reinforcements being brought into the centre there. And as I say, our guys have got to try and fight down the long pikes of Pontus and Seleucid there. And that's always difficult to do, but you can see we're still throwing pilers into the enemy team there, and you can see them replying with pilers as well. So as I say, in the centre area there will be a lot of weakening of units there by the pilot strikes. Nice hit here by Spitfyr, going into one of I think Scorpion King's Testudo units, and bang, as he smashes in there. Nice hit there, very nice aggressive hit there by Spitfyr. And pull back. He didn't rout that unit, but he would have caused some damage there. You can see that Romex has released one of his dog units here. Pause again for a second there. See the Warhound units there. But what you might find surprising, can you see enemy infantry? If you read the writing here, this might surprise you. If you read the writing, can you see frightened by dogs? So like I said earlier in the battle there, the dogs do bring a small fear factor to the battlefield there. And as I say, once again, that frightened by dogs. So, but here in the main centre of the battle here, you can see it's kind of like a bit of a grinding battle in the centre there. But as I say, here comes the Warhounds there to attack the enemy troops there. And meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you'll see that Iberos Touro has got his cavalry there. It looks like one of Romex's chariot units got caught up on that pike unit of Pontus there. But as I say, here you can see a lot of grinding down action, as I say, in the centre of the battlefield here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a heads up on what I was thinking at this stage of the battle. Can you see that I've moved my cavalry from over in the woods there where I had them hidden, and I've brought them in behind my infantry? Okay, now, just as I say, just to give you a heads up on this, I've looked at the centre of the enemy team, and for some reason it looked weak to me. I don't know really why that is, and what I'm thinking about doing is an old school, old-fashioned surge attack with my infantry. Okay, old-fashioned, old-school surge attack, hammered home by my cavalry coming in behind me. Okay, so I'm just giving you a heads up on that. For some reason, I looked at the centre of the enemy troops. I know that their units have been greatly weakened by our pilots there, and for some reason, it just looked weak to me. And I'm going to try an out, as I say, old-fashioned surge attack with my infantry, and I'm going to hammer home that surge attack with my cavalry. Okay, so just watch my purple SBQR infantry. Okay, when the time is right, I'm going to try and get the timing right here. Can you see that a couple of Scipio units have been pulled back from the centre? Right, watch my infantry. Watch my infantry surge. They're going to surge forward here into the enemy troops. Right, you can see them moving forward there. I'm going to surge there. I'm going to try and break through, if I can. I'm going to try and punch through the centre of the enemy battle formation there. Can you see that it does look a little bit weak to me? A bit fragile? There. Do you see what I mean? Just there. If we put a lot of pressure here, we may be able to smash straight through the centre, and as I say, punch a hole through the centre of their battle line there. Okay? This is a very, very aggressive, old-school tactic, which I'm going to try here. So watch out for the surge attack here of my infantry. Notice I'm not bringing my cavalry in straight away. I'm going to let the infantry kind of infiltrate the enemy units. Okay, get ready for this. See how my infantry surge forward, infiltrate the enemy units in front of them, and then my cavalry comes in now. Okay, so watch my cavalry going to come in. I'm going to try and punch a hole through the enemy battle lines here. Watch my cavalry going to hit now, and bang! As they smash in to the enemy troops in front of me there. Right, can you see the Seleucid cataphracts are counter-attacking there? Okay, you see the cataphracts. So I'm trying to punch a hole there. Now what I'm hoping is my allies here with their cavalry will smash in behind my infantry, further pushing my infantry forward there. Okay, so I'm hoping that Touro and Scorpion King follow me in with their cavalry, so we can try and smash a hole right through the middle of the enemy battle lines. Here you can see the Britannia chosen swordsman attacking enemy troops there on our left flank. But here, right in the centre here, I must say, if I say so myself, a really aggressive, old-school surge attack backed up by the hammering of the cavalry going in there as well. Right, come on, allies, charge your cavalry in, go through my infantry and cavalry and smash into the enemy troops. Come on, we can punch a hole through the enemy battle lines here, and there you can see the cavalry coming in. Look, bang! Once again, I'm surging forward with my infantry. Once you start the surge attack, you keep surging over and over again. And look how my allies' cavalry have come in behind me. So we've got Scorpion King's cavalry and some infantry units following my troops in. And we've got Iberos Touro's cavalry smashing in there as well. Oh my gosh. So as I say, we're trying to punch a hole right through the centre of the enemy team here. And I'm really glad my allies have backed me up there. You see my purple SBQR troops trying to push through there as much as we can. Okay, meanwhile, over on our right flank, I'd like to show you a very wily and old school RTW player, a Cormac there. Okay, and he's brought his cavalry round the flank of our armies there. Nice move here. As I say, a nice move by the old school RTW player Cormac. And I reckon he's going to get his cavalry, if I'm right here, right in behind us here, and then smash into the back of our engaged troops here. Now this could be a battle-winning tactic here by Cormac. Okay, if he gets his cavalry round there quick enough and smashes into the back of us there. But as I say, at the moment we're trying to hammer through the enemy centre here, trying to punch a hole through there. Can you see how we're really penetrating into the enemy battle line there? Can you see a lot of enemy units are starting to rout at this stage as we're pushing through? There you are. We're really hammering through the centre of the enemy battle line there. So there you go. Right, pause the game for a second here. So as I say, Cormac now has got in behind us with his cavalry. We need to notice that. Battlefield awareness needs to come in here, and we need to turn units to face the threat of that. But if you notice here, can you see my purple units have basically broken through the centre of the enemy battle line there, and you can see my Julii allies there plus my infantry all trying to push through here to widen that gap that we've caused. Over here you'll see that Romex has tried attacking with his chariots there and got caught up on those pike walls, anti-cavalry, anti-chariot pike walls that Spitfyr has put out there. Really nice move there by Spitfyr, covering his team there, protecting them from chariot hits there. I was surprised Romex tried to attack there because we know that pike and spears kill chariots really quickly there. But as I say, the main danger for us maybe at this moment is that cavalry of Cormac's got in behind us there and could look to smash into the rear of us there. But we've noticed that, you know what we talked about, battlefield awareness. We've seen his cavalry's come around behind us, so we need to counter it with our cavalry and infantry as well. Can you see how both Scorpion King and Touro there have charged into Cormac's cavalry, neutralising them now? Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers game now. You can see that our cavalry and infantry way outnumber Cormac's cavalry there. That was a really nice tactical move there by Cormac, but we managed to counter it. So there, and you can see the Seleucid cataphracts smashing into our centre again there. Look at bang into my purple SBQR infantry there. Just look at that for impact. Now I need my allies to keep coming in behind me, keep helping my infantry and cavalry move forward. There you can see my allies are now counter-attacking there. And bang, as they charge in there. We're still trying to punch a hole through the middle of the enemy battle line there, and I think we've done it. Can you see? We've got both Julii and my purple SBQR troops there punching a hole right through the centre there. And over here you'll see that Romex has brought one of his chariot units round the flank of the enemy team there, looking to charge in, maybe into the cavalry of the Seleucids there, or just to bring the fear factor. If you notice here, Pontus pikes, look, frightened by chariots. Remember, whenever you see a unit that says it's frightened, its morale has dropped, making it more susceptible to routing. So that's a nice move there by Romex, getting that chariot unit in behind the enemy team. But as you can see there, our attack in the centre seems to have worked. And I can see a lot of enemy units starting to rout, including the Seleucid general. Okay, the Seleucid general has just been routed as well, so taking the morale away from the enemy troops there. So we've done really well there, I think. You can see the Seleucid cataphracts there, still trying to counter-attack, still trying to close the gap that we've opened there. You can see that, but we're still pushing more and more troops. Another cavalry attack in there could really just push it through. There you are. You can see loads of enemy troops now are routing. Okay, you can see that now. If you look all over the battlefield there, you'll see lots of things. I think most of the Seleucid, if not all of the Seleucid pike units may have been routed at this stage. Now Romex can bring his chariots in that were being held at bay by Spitfyre's pikes there, and he can bring those chariots in as well. So now we need to change the trajectory of our attack. We don't need to go forward anymore as we've broken through. What we need now is to move right against the remaining enemy troops. But as I say, just look at all those enemy routing troops there. So as I say, we need to attack right now, change our trajectory from going forward to just attacking right and trying to finish off the rest of those enemy units there. Okay, so you can see that's what we're trying to do. Now attacking from our left to our right there, as you can see. Nice move here by, I think it's Touro and Scorpion King, bringing infantry around the other flank now to get in behind them. Nice move there by Touro, as I say, and Scorpion King there. Nice tactical move. The Seleucid cataphracts charging in again. Look at them. bang, as they smash into my SBQR units, but my allies, Julii, infantry and cavalry there as well to help absorb the attack there. And as I say, you can see Scorpion King and Romex, his infantry units there, have come right round the other flank. We've got Britannia chariots there coming in there as well. So we're coming in from the left, we've got chariots coming in, and as I say, we're coming in from the right as well, with Iberos, Touro and Scorpion King have come in from the right there. So really well done to them. I think they've worked together really well on that right flank and right centre, and now we're just going to try and concentrate on finish off the enemy troops. Just like to show you a good tactical move by Touro here. Can you see he's kept his 2 Eagle units, including the general unit there, close to the fighting, but not actually engaging them. So they're giving their morale, they're radiating morale there from those 2 units to our fighting troops, but they're not actually engaged. So nice move there by Touro. Keep your morale giving troops out of the battle as long as you can, but keep them close to the battle so they are giving morale bonus to not just their troops but their allies as well. So you can see here we're really just adding a lot of pressure here to what's left of the enemy team. There's a Pontus chariot unit and bang! Smashed into the back, I think, of Touro's red Julii infantry there. But he's being chased by a Britannia chariot. And there's a nice cavalry hit here coming in from Touro and bang! You can see that the Scipii general is still alive there and the Pontus general there. It looks like both the Pontus and the Scipii general are still alive. Need to take them out if we can, to try and take the general morale bonus away from the enemy team there. You can see the amount of pressure we're putting on the enemy team. Remember, the enemy team are the blue Scipii and Pontus. I think that's all that's left of the enemy team there. But I think that surge attack that I put in earlier has cost me a lot of my troops there. I haven't got a lot of troops left, if I remember correctly. And it looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle there. Quite a spread out battle maybe, but also very concentrated in some parts. If you look at my my infantry that I've got left, if you look at the numbers there, okay, you'll see how battle depleted my troops were. Can you see, what's that, four men in that unit? What about that unit there, just between those 2, Julia? Oh my gosh, was it 3 men in that unit? Oh my gosh, you can see how battle, one man left in that unit. Look, you can see how battle depleted my troops are. There you are, look. You can see there are 2 men left in that unit. I think the general unit was hit quite hard as well. Yep, there were only 8 men left in my general unit. So you can see how battle depleted my troops are. Okay, and I've got 1 very, very battle damaged cavalry unit left with just 2 cavalrymen left in it. If we look around the battlefield here, you can see the intense fighting here on our left flank there. You can see there was very intense fighting. That's where our Britannia ally there and our Julii ally was fighting there on the left flank against the enemy troops there. You can see some Seleucid cataphract dead there. And at the rear here, of course, this is where Cormac's cavalry was caught by our cavalry there. Remember, he brought him around the flank. He got caught from our cavalry and infantry there. And over here, let's say very intense fighting here, as you can see there. So just by the piles of dead. So very, very intense. And if we go now, I would think that the what's left of the enemy troops would start to admit defeat now. As you can see,
Gods be praised. The enemy general is killed.
There we're just finishing off what's left of the enemy troops there. I always think at this stage of the battle, when the battle's obviously lost, just best just to admit defeat, and we'll get into the lobby. There you are, just go up to double speed now. And we'll get to, you know, the sooner that you can admit defeat, the sooner we get into the lobby and get a fresh game going. That's what I always think. Right, okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. I thought everybody played well, and I thought this was going to be an average victory. I was very surprised it was a clear victory there. So we must have just edged into clear. Highest kills in the game goes to Scorpion King SR. Great kills for him there, well done. As you say, you can see he called himself Mount Zion, but that is in fact Scorpion King SR with the highest kills in the game. So well done to him. Well done to Tabor. He'll be disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills, but I thought he held well in the centre. So well done to Tabor. Well done to Barclayman there. Got some really good kills with his faction of choice. Highest kills in his team. Well done to Spitfyr with Seleucid. Got some really good kills as well. And well done to Cormac. Very aggressive there. He'll be disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills, but really well played, guys. Was a great game there. And nice cavalry move around the flank by Cormac as well. My kills, yeah, not too bad. Not fantastic, but okay, I suppose, really. Yeah, not too bad, really. So quite happy with that. Well done to, as I say, Scorpion King, highest kills in the game. Well done to him. Well done to GoTW Romex with his Britannia army. Great kills there. Really well done to him. Great kills. And he had the smallest army on the battlefield. Look, if you notice there, if you look up and down the army, smallest army in the battlefield, but got some good kills. And well done to Iberos Touro. Got some really good kills as well. So really well played, guys. Now, what about faction advantage? We had Rome, Britannia, and Rome. Quite a strong combination. They had Rome, Pontus, Seleucid, and Rome. That's quite a strong as well. So anyway, what did you think of the surge attack in the middle of the battlefield? Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.